Nicknamed The Rock, Alcatraz was a prison built to confine the most intelligent and dangerous criminals. They said no one could ever escape this isolated island alive. Yet in 1962, a man named Frank Morris, armed with a brilliant mind, decided to rewrite history. What was the secret behind a plan so intricate that even the FBI eventually closed the case? Let us dive into the story of an escape from an icy hell in the heart of San Francisco. The genius in the cruelest prison. The escape story of Frank Morris from Alcatraz. Frank Morris, a man with a long history of bank robberies, theft, and drug possession, is now riding in a prison transport vehicle. His destination? Alcatraz, the legendary prison located on a remote island, surrounded by treacherous waters. It is infamous for its extreme security, a fortress believed to be impossible to breach. Upon arrival, Morris is forced to surrender everything he owns before being escorted to his cell. On his first morning, an oppressive atmosphere greets him. Lines of inmates march toward the dining hall under the watchful eyes of numerous guards, proving just how tightly controlled the prison truly is. At the breakfast table, Morris sits across from Litmus, a middle-aged senior inmate. Morris hesitates to touch the pasta being served. There are no forks, removed for security reasons. Litmus takes the pasta, not for himself, but for his secret pet, a rat that joins him for breakfast beneath the table. But Litmus isn't the only one to notice Morris. He also immediately draws the attention, and hostility, of Wop, a chubby inmate who taunts him in a disgusting manner. Morris, with his superior IQ, remains calm, showing not the slightest hint of fear or concern, as if a strategy were already forming in his mind. After breakfast, the warden summons Morris to his office.
Alcatraz is not like any other prison.
In a cold, unyielding tone, the warden makes it clear. Alcatraz is no ordinary prison. The rules are enforced with absolute discipline, and escape should never be expected. The punishment would be severe. On the desk lies Morris's file, its contents unmistakable. Superior IQ, a genius. One question lingers in the air. What surprise will Morris bring to this impenetrable fortress? During shower time, Wop finally makes his move. Believing Morris to be a weak newcomer, he attempts to force him into becoming his new partner. But Morris, sharp and calculating, does not remain passive. Wop pays the price for his mistake. Following the warden's orders, Morris is assigned to the prison library as an assistant to Vinny, the inmate in charge. Thanks to his exceptional intelligence, Morris quickly connects with Vinny, engaging in conversations about anything and everything the books have to offer.
See you later.
Later, during recreation time, Morris meets a new acquaintance named Doc, a painter granted special permission to express his creativity.
I'm Doc.
Unexpectedly, Morris encounters Vinny once more, revealing him to be the leader of the prison's black inmate group. Morris is allowed to sit beside him.
Special about those steps?
The higher you sit, the more status you got.
During their casual conversation, Vinny finally realizes Morris's intention. He wants to escape. Vinny himself once shared that dream, but after years inside, he knows the truth. There is no opening, no way out. Vinny lays out the harsh reality: a small island, powerful and dangerous ocean currents, and a 2-kilometer swim to the mainland. Even if someone could survive the freezing water, how would they ever get out of the prison itself? Each guard keeps watch over at least 3 inmates. Disappear for even a moment, and it would be noticed immediately. Vinny advises Morris to bury that foolish idea deep in his mind.
No one's ever busted out.
No one's ever made it.
That night, a guard arrives with new orders from the warden. Morris is assigned to work in the prison woodshop. The next day, Morris chats with Litmus. According to Litmus, his pet rat comes through the air vent in their cell, since their cell block sits directly beneath the ventilation system. Suddenly, Wop appears, his face twisted with anger, seeking revenge. Morris quickly slips off his coat, preparing to defend himself.
Right.
Moments later, guards rush in and restrain both men. Morris is then sent to solitary confinement, deemed to have been involved in the disturbance.
You're dead.
Maybe dead before you get out.
One week locked inside solitary confinement. Light enters the cell only once a day. accompanied by a burst of water from a guard to wash the room down.
Going back to your cell.
After serving his punishment, Morris returns to his cell, greeted by Litmus's rat, carrying a small piece of paper that reads, "Welcome back." A week in isolation brings changes. Charlie, a new inmate, is placed in the cell right next to Morris. The two quickly grow close and soon become inseparable. Meanwhile, the warden, displeased with Doc's paintings, which he deems excessive, immediately revokes Doc's permission to paint. All of Doc's supplies are confiscated.
Painting's all I have.
I'm sorry, Doc.
You okay, Doc?
Doc releases his frustration in a horrifying way. He cuts off his own finger and hands it to a guard. The only joy left in his life has been taken from him.
Mr. Zimmerman! Will you come over here for a minute? Get back to work!
Time passes, and Alcatraz receives two new inmates. The Anglin brothers, Clarence and John Anglin, both convicted of bank robbery. They are sent there because they had attempted to escape before. Alcatraz is a prison where no inmate has ever been confirmed to escape alive. Night falls. Morris sits in his cell when he notices a cockroach crawling out of the ventilation hole. Litmus's words echo in his mind. Their cell block lies beneath the ventilation system. When Lights Out arrives, Morris finally makes his move. Using a nail clipper, stolen from the warden's office, he begins to carefully chip away at the wall surrounding the ventilation opening, bit by bit. The next day, during recreation time, Charlie receives a visit from his wife. News about their toddler child moves him deeply and makes him feel increasingly restless inside the prison. At mealtime, Morris immediately gathers Charlie and the Anglin brothers. He reveals his discovery. The prison's aging structure has caused the walls to corrode, making them weak and easy to break through. Morris invites them to join the escape plan he has carefully thought through. The plan sounds simple, but is incredibly difficult. Enlarge the ventilation hole until it is wide enough for a human body. Climb inside and access the ventilation shaft. Exit through the prison's rooftop vent. Climb down the wall toward the edge of the island. The tools required are basic: a nail clipper, spoons, or any hard metal object. Since the work will take days, Morris plans to build a fake wall made of cardboard, painted to match the cell walls, to avoid arousing the guards' suspicion. Once the holes are complete, they will create dummy heads to fool the guards during nightly checks. Clarence Anglin, who works at the barbershop, is tasked with stealing hair for the fake heads. The final obstacle: crossing 2 kilometers of open water. Morris will construct a raft and life vests from stolen raincoats and adhesive. John Anglin, who works in the clothing room, is responsible for stealing the necessary materials.
What about me?
You'll stand guard while I dig. I'll stand guard while you dig.
Night falls. It is time to act. It is Morris's turn to dig, while Charlie stands watch, responsible for giving a whistling signal if a guard approaches. After hours of digging, Morris's palms are red and aching, having worked with nothing but a tiny nail clipper. During mealtime, Morris looks for a solution. He deliberately soils his spoon so it will be replaced.
Hey, guard.
Yeah?
Any chance of exchanging this spoon? Looks like it's been sticking in someone's ass.
Go ahead.
Brian, I can cook. Hey, I used to be a short order cook in a cafe down in Georgia.
Quietly, Morris steals 2 new spoons. Still not enough. Morris asks Litmus for a small coin, trading it for a week's worth of his pasta rations. The coin is then scraped down into metal shavings, which Morris uses to melt and fuse the spoons and the nail clipper, using the flame from a matchstick. With a more effective digging tool finally made, Morris resumes digging, just as a guard begins making his rounds. Charlie, assigned as lookout, tries to whistle, but forgets one crucial thing: he can't whistle.
Back.
Once things are safe again, Morris resumes digging, but a new problem arises. The metal air grate is difficult to remove because it is firmly embedded in the wall. The next day, in the woodshop, Morris crafts a small, axe-like tool to cut through the metal of the air grate.
I'm looking for. Yeah, but it won't get through the metal detector.
He is briefly stopped by a guard after being caught carrying metal, but Morris gives up the tool without resistance, having already hidden another object inside the sole of his shoe. The air grate is finally removed. The ventilation hole is now large enough. Morris builds a fake wall and dummy heads out of cardboard, using crumbled wall material as adhesive. Fake hair stolen by the Anglin brothers is also ready. Once everything is ready, Morris slips into the hole and successfully reaches the ventilation space above. But this is Alcatraz. To reach the rooftop chimney, he would need a drill to open the iron hatch above him. At that very moment, guards make their rounds, passing by Morris's cell. They suspect nothing. Shortly after, however, one guard returns, drops his baton, and by pure chance notices something suspicious about Morris's head. Unbeknownst to them, Morris has already made it back into his cell without being detected. The plan remains safe, even though there is still no clear solution for breaking through the roof.
I went up on top last night. Saw the ventilator shaft to the roof, but I can't reach it. I'm gonna need a boost. How you all coming? My dummy's ready. Tonight, John and I'll go up.
The following night, Morris returns to the ventilation space, this time accompanied by one of the Anglin brothers, who has also managed to break out of his cell. The iron hatch above them is tightly locked. Morris thinks hard. He must build a drilling device.
Bars feel pretty solid. Can spread the bars with a pipe and knock the hood off.
There's an electrical outlet here. You just get a motor and a drill bit and a flashlight. We'd have it all. Great.
By chance, there is a power switch nearby. All he needs now are a motor, a drill bit, and a flashlight. Morris once again turns to Litmus, known for smuggling items from the outside, this time trading a week's worth of dessert rations. Morris also steals a small electric fan, which contains a motor. He hides the fan inside his musical instrument case, and is nearly caught by a guard.
Hold it, Morris. Want to take a look at one of those cases?
Try this one.
Let's open it up.
Using his intelligence, Morris modifies the electric fan motor and the smuggled drill bit. With long electrical wires stolen from the woodshop, he finally puts his plan into action. The next day, during lunch, Morris tends to Doc's beloved white flower, a final tribute following Doc's death in the hospital. The warden, clearly displeased, deliberately destroys the flower. A sudden reaction follows. Litmus collapses and dies of a heart attack.
Stretcher.
I get a medic. You won't need one.
The night of the escape arrives. All preparations are complete. Morris says goodbye to Vinny, at the same time disproving his words. It's impossible to escape from this prison.
Books that may help you.
Thanks.
So long. Boy.
Not long after Vinny leaves, the warden suddenly conducts a surprise inspection. Hearts pound as he begins to examine the ventilation hole. Yet, the warden appears too oblivious to notice anything wrong.
Excuse me.
During recreation time, Wop, recently released from solitary confinement, still harbors a grudge. He attempts to stab Morris from behind, but Vinny intervenes in time, stopping him out of concern. The night of the escape arrives. Morris and the Anglin brothers are already inside the ventilation shaft, preparing to climb onto the roof. Meanwhile, Charlie loses his nerve, too afraid to go through with it. Morris nearly gives himself away when he drops the vent cover. Fortunately, the guards do not grow suspicious. Morris and the Anglin brothers quickly make their way out. Morris waits 10 minutes for Charlie. When he fails to appear, and time continues to slip away, they make the difficult decision to leave Charlie behind. After successfully passing the barbed wire fence and reaching the edge of the island, Morris and the Anglin brothers quickly turn their raincoats into a raft and life vests. The three men float out onto the open sea, leaving the island behind. The next morning, when all the inmates wake up, the guards are stunned to find Morris still lying in his bed. Upon closer inspection, they realize it is nothing more than a fake head.
Get up, Morris.
Damn it, Mark. Jesus Christ.
The incident instantly became national news. The warden immediately coordinated with the military and the police. Along the coastline, authorities discovered a pouch containing notebooks and photographs belonging to the Anglin brothers, washed ashore by the waves. From this, they concluded that Morris and the Anglin brothers had drowned. The assumption of their deaths grew stronger when the warden later found Doc's favorite white flower, the very one that had last been cared for by Morris. In reality, it remains unknown whether Frank Morris is alive or dead. The case was closed without answers, but the greater question continues to echo to this day. Did they drown at sea? Or did they succeed in pulling off the most perfect escape in history? Do you think they escaped? Or drowned in the sea? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next video.